2 years ago, we stopped here at the Baker's factory right around the annual Daytona trip. And back then, Aldon, it was just one facility, one building, and I guess a couple of tracks over there, indoors and out style. But a huge addition. You've kind of doubled the place in those last 2 years.
Yep. Yeah, Jason. I mean, sure, it's been an undertaking, but you know, the goal here was also to provide some workshops and facility for the rest of the KTM Husqvarna group.
Right.
And create a bit of a feeder system for what I'm trying to develop over, you know, on the other side. So, yeah, this was the next big part of the addition, and obviously done a little different. We've done the garages a little bit more compact.
Well, the other building is a giant, tall, one big room, for the most part, metal building.
Yes.
This is not even close to that.
Right. And the reason too, over there, I originally figured I may have to bring equipment into the building.
Right.
And going forward, that was not needed. We have a separate area for equipment.
Oh.
And that's why when you look at workshops here, it's strictly for the motorcycles and the athletes.
Right.
So a little bit more compact, but then also I could make it, you know, a lot more usable, and also have that area where there is separation between the teams, so that they feel they have their privacy if they want to do different things or testing and all that. So that was the aim with doing this whole area, but yet still including it in the overall Baker's factory, because we do rotate tracks so that everyone gets the best out of the whole facility.
Yeah, and we'll go in there in a second, but I do just want to show. So when this only opened up, you basically had this running in July?
Yeah.
This building. So at first they were in these containers over here.
Yeah, so you can imagine the summer would have been brutal working out of these things. So I got to give the guys credit for hanging in while this was getting built, and you're working out of a container. So now the container's basically used for storage. Yes. And they finally moved over to something that's a little bit more livable and likable.
Oh,
and look
Tyler
who
Rattray hanging out here.
So,
but you're not mic'd up, so don't even bother.
So we have Tyler here, who obviously is overseeing the riders on this side.
Yep.
Making sure they're fueled up like he's fueling up.
Interesting.
But so we've got an area here where each rider has their own cabinet to keep their gear.
Yep.
And get ready as they need to do before they can obviously go out and ride. So
this is the main spot where the riders are hanging out.
Yeah, so this is the hangout place for them. And then Tyler's got his little office here where he can also analyze and also show video.
Show video. So who will be shooting that, or do you have a way of how does that get shot?
Typically, either Tyler will do some filming, or if one of the mechanics is not actually giving the lap times, he can do some filming. So, and it depends. Girlfriend, buddy,
Girlfriend, buddy.
Video is video, and we do have enough people
come out
around.
More. I didn't know we could give back to this program.
Yeah,
we got a camera right
now. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
As long as you're prepared to pull it up there between, hang out and watch the abuse from what they see out there.
Yes, yes. Well, Tyler wanted us to fix the printer earlier, so it's all the same.
It's always something. I mean, it's an evolving, thing. So.
And that proves the point again. You're not just doing fitness stuff here. You're watching the guys ride on video and trying to figure out how they can ride better.
And then obviously all the polar stuff is downloaded, and that's checked and gone over, and making sure that everything balances out each day. So it's quite a, like you said, it's become a science. So this is Troy Lee's garage, as you can see, and I mean it's each garage has its own shower, bathroom, toilet, but it is obviously on the other side it's definitely a lot more open and bigger. I had to make use of the size and make it count.
But you found it better to actually have smaller individual things instead of
yes, because you don't really
rooms.
have any space wasted, and the economy of running the thing with electric and air conditioning and all of that is a lot better. Brick
building is a lot better than a metal building?
Building starts cheap, but fitting it out gets insane.
I see, and climate controlling a metal building
is not easy. So I think if you want to be quick and easy, and also you don't want air conditioning and all the other luxuries of it and plumbing and everything else, then it's not bad. But
You're trying
this
to make
was
this a real building.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is each thing we're moving into basically the same exact
Basically
setup?
the same setup, yes.
Yep. So this is our third room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is Husky. And we're still evolving. We want to do nice flooring eventually and really make it professional, but it's coming
because
along.
you do, they have options. They didn't have to, I think people get confused. They didn't have to work out of this. They had to basically choose if they liked it or not, and if it worked for them. They
exactly.
weren't, no one was forced,
Yes.
either of these teams, you have to work at Aldon's place.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was an option that was given that, hey, this is what makes sense if you, I feel like everyone in the industry and the teams believe that you probably need an East Coast base. We race more on the East Coast than on the West.
Okay, yeah,
And
I
if you
guess you're
analyze
right.
that, the second thing is travel on the East Coast to all these East Coast races is a lot easier.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is there's no way I could have afforded to do this anywhere else. And your only option would be weather-wise, California.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
It's just that much more expensive.
Yes.
That's why this type of thing, all these training facilities, that's why we've never really seen that model out there.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I just don't fit, and and also with the weather conditions there, they hardly get rain. So imagine, in one way that's good. Another way is how do you create getting all this, keeping up with moisture, what we need for the soil type and everything else. So there's a lot of areas that make sense for us out here. And I believe here, obviously travel out of Orlando is easy. It covers a lot of our bases. So it makes the most sense to me, but a lot of people were like, oh, I'm almost like I'm selling land out here, trying to promote it. And that's not, I just feel for what we have to do and our training, remember too, we do need warmer climate to train for some of the East Coast motocross races. And this covers our bases. And then this is a spare garage for now. Okay. But it's just being used as a little bit of a gym and kind of a cardio area as warm up, for the riders. But this will become another garage, but that'll be used between these three teams.
What's interesting is there is not a gym on site here. So all the gym work, do they do it over there?
Yes.
Oh, on that side of the big building?
Yes.
Oh, so their gym work is done on property?
Yes.
Oh, okay, it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, this group over here, but now we have a lot bigger group.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys.
We can't fit everyone in the same gym.
Okay, yeah.
So, once again, my group over there obviously have priority over the gym that I have over there.
Right.
I try and fit in where I can with what goes on here.
Yeah.
But this is all new. This was also started as really basically let's cover for workshop and have the riding conditions, because yes, it is, to go and join your local gym down the road is pretty cheap, and that's pretty much what they will use until we actually have it dialed where it is all for everyone on site.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything for your original main four guys they have everything they need over there, or do they have to go to an actual gym?
No, we have everything over there. Yeah.
Right.
So
that's challenging, I would think.
Yeah.
To get all that right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but this is just more of a, they can do the basics here. So some days if there is a rain delay or it can't really work out, it's not like they can stand around. They can, be utilizing the cardio and obviously the gym stuff.
Get some mirrors, man. It's the only place where you're pumping iron and don't even have any mirrors.
They'll get distracted in the mirror. You know what I mean? So that's why you'll notice no mirrors, man.
Okay.
We don't want to have distractions.
One more,
and this is actually the off-road team's garage. So KTM off-road. Although I see we've got one alien that snuck inside here for a little tune-up.
Okay, that's a part.
But typically, obviously, when the KTM off-road team are here, this is their designated garage and all for them. Yeah.
Their schedule is a lot different.
It is.
Yeah.
So they typically here for a couple of weeks, beginning, like they were here 2 weeks ago, I think, and then they'll come 6 weeks in the summer.
So this will be filled up at times. All right, so how many garages was that? Is that 5?
5.
5 garages.
Yep.
And where did you come up with 5? Like, was that an actual plan? Like 6 is,
well,
we would like to have 6, we just don't have room for 6, or 5 is exactly what we need, or?
It actually started off with 4.
Okay.
Because I figured that, okay, I knew Troy Lee was going to need something.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that, and actually Bobby Hewitt with the Husky was he was all about in the beginning, and it was kind of cool because he was like, man, we got to get something set up, and his reasoning was all his guys were already out in Florida.
Okay.
So for him it was a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hey, well, Aldon, what are you doing? Why get on it? So that
Right.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
so but I needed all the teams to be kind of all in on it for me to try and do the loan and do everything and get this thing rolling.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I can't have trying to take out a loan and try and get this all going, and I've got 4 riders in on it. You know,
You
on
needed
or
specifics.
I needed
This is really going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so and that's where at least between Husky and KTM, they were all very open to the idea, and they'd seen what had gone on basically the start of everything at the other building. And I said, listen, I want to try and duplicate and create more of what I have there for more people, and also give them their own separation, and develop it from there. So once we had that between the off-road, obviously Husky, and then the Troy Lee.
Yeah.
And the extra garage was also for possibility a Loretta's pre-deal, for Orange
Some
Brigade.
younger amateur guys.
Yeah,
Right.
because I feel like, before Loretta's, there's a demand for some riders wanting to prep in the heat and
sure.
wanting to, can I provide for that? Well, that made sense. And then the extra garage in the beginning was originally just for storage. So I was like, well, you still got tires, you got parts, you got everything. Well, that changed because the garage is obviously not big enough for all the riders to be in with mechanics and bikes. So then we separated that to create, you have a changing room, you have your own area where you can debrief, the trainer can go over everything with you, and then leave the mechanics separate to deal with the bikes and not be disturbed,
Totally different than the original building where everybody just had one giant box.
Yeah.
So that's the evolution of it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and hopefully as things progress and everything goes well, we can keep, I do feel I wouldn't mind one really good gymnasium done proper on its own.
Okay.
But remember, the priorities is the tracks, the riding, the workshops.
Yep.
So maybe down the line we can hopefully get around to that when some of this debt is covered.
Because it is ultimately a motorcycle skills competition, not a fitness challenge.
Not a fitness challenge.
Yes,
does that all help?
CrossFit.
But relative, it's a smaller piece of everything.
Thanks for the tour.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
See ya.